el tigre.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, folks. We have an early one today, and that's just because the GDP report, the first revision of Q1 of 2024, will be coming out in a mere 7-ish minutes, which is definitely going to have a little bit of wonkiness, definitely a bit of an impact on the overall market. Right now, SPY is not looking so good, which is actually good for me because I decided to be a degenerate and swing another 50 puts through the overnight session. It is going up a little bit right now, but I mean, the fact that we're down, I should be up a good chunk of change. But obviously, I'm not feeling that confident yet, just because I know that this GDP report could have a huge impact. So I might get lucky and the market might drop more, and that would be awesome. On the flip side, there's quite a bit of risk in this, and that's why, I don't know, the GDP report could rip the market higher. And then I could be SOL. So we're just going to see how it is. So I'm feeling good right now because it's just happened to drift in my favor. But I fully am well aware that I know it's not that. It doesn't really matter quite yet. What matters is where we're at market open. So yes, we are starting early today. I do very much appreciate you guys getting up at the crack of dawn to join me. I'm doing everything in my power to make today go smoothly. That's why I'm wearing my Lucky Buffalo shirt. So a lot to talk about there. Yes, we are going to be listening to Rick, our boy Rick. He should be on with CNBC. So we got some money on the line on this one. We definitely have some money on the line. So obviously that's numero uno. What in the world is going down with this GDP report? Then I have some news just generically on the Fed and debt and all of that. I want to give you an update on the most recent developments with Trump's trial. Some wonkiness right now with the judge and the jury. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the most recent round of polling. And then I want to get into some individual equity updates. Namely, Salesforce, ticker symbol CRM, got completely destroyed after its earnings last night, currently down 15%, getting murked. Nvidia is the stock that just keeps on giving higher and higher and higher. And then we're going to talk about basically what's the current state of affairs in the world of memes, such as GME, AMC, all that stuff. I did get up even earlier myself today to try to, get rocking and fix some of my code issues from yesterday. I don't think I pulled it off. I think I fixed some issues and then prompted new issues, but obviously we are going to find out. That should happen around 10 a.m. today. So we're going to rip some of the Apex accounts. Obviously, I have the 20 funded at 50K each. We do have a payout period coming up not this week, but next week. So hopefully some of them survive and get cross not only the trading day requirement, but also obviously what I'm going to need in terms of profit. So lots to get into. And I guess we don't have to particularly rush today because we have quite a bit of time until the market opens. So with that being said, thank you for being here. I very much appreciate it. Don't forget to destroy the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And with that being said, let's get a little bit more prepped up for the day. So the SPY currently drifting down $2, down 0.4%. The Qs are down 0.3% or $1.3. Right here, here's a look at CRM, Salesforce. I'll cover that in a bit. And obviously, I'm also watching bonds just because that's going to have a big impact. Bonds yield today, at least the start of the show, is very much going to be more focused on the overall economy. Ooh, Kohrs just got hit. Kohrs stock plummets 20% after massive earnings miss. Ooh, all right. We're going to have to read what that's all about a little bit later. But first thing is first. Dow futures dropped 300 points as Salesforce shares tumble. Salesforce, not really the reason that the Dow's down. It's more of probably what's been going on with the bonds and dollar. Dollar's been ripping. Bonds have been kind of getting hit pretty hard, actually. If you look at something like TLT, i.e. yields are up. So the dollar's up, yields up, bonds are down. Generally not good for the stock market. But really, we do have quite a bit of anticipation for this GDP report, which will be coming out in 3 minutes. So this is a revision. The forecast, the line in the sand is 1.6%. 1.6% according to investing.com is the line in the sand. And since it's a normal Thursday, we're also getting the initial jobless claims. So why this all matters is the Fed fund rate, inflation. You've heard this spiel before, but right now the Fed fund rate is sitting at 5.25%, and inflation is coming down, but it's still higher than expected. The best metaphor I could come up with that to explain it all is basically if we were a car driving in the wrong direction, we're still driving in the wrong direction. We're just driving in the wrong direction at less of a speed. So when all these politicians get up on the stage and like, why aren't what are these greedy corporations doing? Why aren't they bringing their price down? Because prices are still increasing. They're just not increasing at the same velocity. And actually things have gotten so bad that instead of a slight chance of a rate cut in the June meeting, there's actually now a slight chance of a rate hike in the June meeting. So just something to consider. And then obviously Fed's Bostic says many inflation measures moving to target range. So we're slowly but surely and very painfully going in the right direction, kind of, but things are still very, very bad. So after the report and everything comes out this morning, I wanted to watch this with all of you. Global debt has grown to $315 trillion this year. Here's how we got there. That's a lot of global debt. The U.S. is a tenth of that. We're almost at $35 trillion. So I figured that's something cool that we could kind of check in. Now, this report is coming out. And just to show you guys what I have on the line, it's a pretty penny right here. SPY 524 puts for not today, but tomorrow. I did get into this yesterday, and my average cost was actually 114. I don't know what size 110 right now. Oh, wait. I only have 30 left. Did some of my position get hit by a pending order? It must have got hit by a pending order this morning. Whatever. I originally had 100. I dumped up 50 of them. Here, let's actually see how this truly went. So right here, I dumped 50. I had 100, or no, I bought 50, bought another 50, got rid of 50, and then I guess an order for an extra 20 got filled as well. So at one point I had 100, sold 50 just because I didn't want all of that risk. And then I guess I had a little bit of a reach target. So my average for both of these was 114. I sold one chunk, half of them at 125, the next chunk at 140, and I just have a final chunk that hopefully at market open, it does break in my favor. But obviously, time will tell. Now, where's our boy Rick? Let me reload this so we can see what Rick is up to. Where is, wait a second. Uh-oh. What's going on with him? Watch live. Do I have to go on this? Oh, hang on. It kicked me out of my sign in. Uh-oh, better do this quick. All right, we are back to where we need to be.
Positive for the company.
Line in the sand,
if they get dropped over the next 5 years by any major distributor, meaning Charter, Comcast, DirecTV, Dish,
let's see.
Then not renewing with the NBA was a catastrophic mistake.
Get this guy off the screen.
Today, he's betting that he's got enough other content to not get dropped.
Right.
It's a big bet, and I think that's what investors in the near term, Andrew,
whether or not that
bet works out well, I think investors in the short term are going to be nervous, and that's going to put pressure on the stock.
Where's our boy Rick?
Rich, it's a longer conversation. We got to leave it there. We got some breaking news that's just hitting the wires right now. Thank you.
Thanks.
Let's get straight over to Rick Santelli. He's got that data for us.
Rick.
Yes, Becky. GDP, second time around the block on the first quarter numbers, expected to be up 1.3, and it is up exactly 1.3. So we subtract 3
I guess
tenths from our
investing.com
first look
had
at 1.6.
Their
Still
line
comps
was
to the second
1.3.
quarter of 22 when we were down 6 tenths in terms of
Real
last time we were
GDP,
at these
1.3
levels of
versus
GDP
1.2.
activity. Now, if we switch gears to consumption,
This is the first
2%.
revision
We're
of those
expecting
numbers,
2.2. It was
i.e. the second
2.5.
reading.
That's a rather large revision. 2% is the lightest since the second quarter of 23 when it was up 8 tenths. And consumption's a big deal. The consumer's a big deal. This is going to go a long way to potentially assuage fears that the next move may be a tightening. On the price index, 3%. We're expecting 3.1 in the rearview mirror was 3.1. Still comes to 1.6.
It's a barn burner.
1.6 was the lightest. That was the last quarter of last year. And keep in mind, the third quarter of last year was 3.3. So we could see that, it is a drop.
Initial
but it's still
reaction is
well
a bit of a
above the
pop,
2%
but
target.
coming down
Now,
ever so slightly.
Core PCE, Personal Consumption Expenditure Price Index, quarter over quarter, 1/10 drop from both expectations and the rear view mirror, from 3.7 new read 3.6. 3.6 still comps to the last quarter of last year in terms of smaller inflationary pressures when it was just 2%.
Wait, what is
now
this
let's
one?
go to initial jobless claims, 219,000. That's up
prices,
3,000 from a slightly revised
Prices.
216,000. It continues to be rather tame.
Dollars getting
and
hit.
we see continuing claims remain under 1.8 million at 1,791,000.
Dollars getting hit, bonds are going up. That's
We haven't been
generically
above
bullish, but let's see if
1.8
it
since
holds.
the last week in March. Now let's look at the
Market's
trade
still
balance, which is
down,
a deficit, expecting
but
minus
making a bit of
92.
its recovery.
Bigger,
So it's
minus
still down from yesterday's
99.4
close,
billion. That's the largest
actually
trade
yesterday's
deficit
low as
going
well.
back to. I'm going to have to cipher on this one. Going back to.
Here's maybe a little bit of a. So we're still
That's
below
taking us
yesterday's
back
low
all the way
and
to
close.
May of 22.
But making
May
some
of 22.
room back.
Let's call it 2 years. And if we look at wholesale inventories, they were up 2/10, close to expectations, reversing a negative month-over-month change of minus 0.4 last month. And finally, retail inventories double expectations, up 7/10. That is the biggest jump in those since it was up 0.8%
Jobless
in
claims
the last
pretty much in line,
month
219
of
versus 218
2023.
expected.
How did all that affect the markets? Well, we're a couple of basis points lower in a 10 at 457 after having a high yield close going back to April 30th. We look at a 495-ish, which is down a couple of basis points in a 2-year. And it looks as though the auction pressure is off. This is a new dynamic. We had 2s, 5s, 7s, and when we're focused on those,
They're
it certainly
finally
seems as
taking a
though
breather,
long
but
rates in
Jesus.
particular, but all rates were more buoyant to the upside. After the auction ended yesterday with a 7-year, which wasn't spectacular by any means, we saw the market rally a
Yields
little
were
bit,
ripping,
very
taking a bit of a
normal.
breather
So if it's not
now.
right in front of investors, maybe they're not putting the link with the fiscal situation that we are in.
Ripped.
Joe, a lot of numbers. Back to you.
All right.
Rick, I was going to say, AI's got nothing on you. I'd like to see any of those
That's
chatbots
right,
try
Becky.
and do what you just did with that.
Yeah, Becky,
Because I
that's
was
right.
barely keeping up as I
Thank
was
you.
writing it down. Well done.
Plus, I really like it. I hope viewers like it as much as me. This is the formula. These are
appreciate
the
it.
ingredients that move
Yeah.
the economy.
They are, and
Dude,
we're watching
Rick's
very
such a-
closely. Rick, thank you. Steve Leisman joins
has
us
so
right
much
now
riz,
with
that
more on
guy.
this. And Steve, Rick's right. These are the pieces that we have to figure out what's
just-
really happening.
he
What's your take
oozes
looking at all these
confidence, you know?
numbers?
Yeah.
Becky's
and you're
hollering
right
at
about
Rick.
I
Feels like
do
it, you know?
Want to
I
challenge
felt
the
that too.
AI
I'm glad
community to
someone
come
else
up with
did.
something that
Good
would
luck.
resemble what he just did there. I think it would be interesting. Anyway, the little bit of inflation improvement is what we were talking about with Joe in the last hour. Incrementally better than it was. Nice to see a downside surprise, I guess, in that number. Consumption came down, but it's still 2%. I was just looking at the corporate, at the investment numbers here. I'll give you a number on that real quick. Fixed investment up 1%, so that's pretty good too. And then the other thing we're looking at is there was an increase in imports. Imports subtract from GDP. And
SPY,
so
little bit of a
may be
bounce.
a sign of
Still
positive
quite
outlook for
there is
on
an
the part of those
upside gap
importers
fill
who are looking
play.
to sell the stuff. It could be some
Actually,
price in there
do I want to
as
play
well,
that
though that
right
should be a
at
price
open?
adjusted number. So
I
look,
might. I might play that right
big
at
come
open.
down from the prior quarter, but still we're looking at the insides of it, the consumption numbers from business and the consumer.
I'm gonna
still
need
pretty
to
good. I think I'll leave it there, except to say that
puts.
we're going to have to watch now.
I'm kind of
these
happy I
numbers
got out
coming
of
in the
70.
second
They're
quarter
still
to
in
see
the
if
green.
what we're getting is a
But I
slowdown
might
here,
dump these
or
pretty
just one that
quickly.
was anomalous because of the trade and the inventory numbers, Becky.
Yeah, Steve, I just one point. Rick said that this takes some of the pressure off these concerns
Actually,
that the
can I
next
dump these
move
right
is going
now?
to be to ratchet rates up. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and maybe even go a step further. It might keep the Fed on track for a rate cut this year, because what's happened is we're kind of losing that fear that the inflation numbers we saw in the first quarter were part of a reacceleration of inflation. Now, that reacceleration, or that concern about reacceleration, is what led to the possibility of guys sort of whispering about rate hikes. And I don't think that's necessarily going to be on. And the question now becomes, do we continue the improvement that we saw? These, 0.1, 0.2, everything is going to help along.
All right, let's get into some of this other stuff. What just got posted here? Things could be setting up for a nasty move lower as focus is on rates and inflation. Rates have traders move concern with left tail puts versus right calls, which you can see via the shades of green statistically higher IV and red lower. So people are starting to, the premium for puts in about mid-June, or no, actually all of June into mid-July. So basically this 1 month block, puts are starting to get a bit expensive on the SPY, as in this is what the market's buying right now. Markets are going out of their way to, or market participants are going out of their way to buy more puts for the mid-June to mid-July timeframe. No one really wants stuff on the call side, which is on the right. And in the short term, calls and puts are still pretty cheap. Once again, all on a relative basis. Additionally, you see via SPX fixed strikes IVs that the downside strikes tied to the 612 FOMC have increasingly higher IV. That makes sense just because it's FOMC. The worry now is that if upcoming core PCE, which comes out tomorrow morning, are hot, there's nothing to break rate fears until 6/12. So basically, there's a lot riding on tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, we will be streaming again early because we get the PCE, the Personal Consumption Expenditure Report. It's an inflation measure. It's like CPI. According to the Fed, it's more important. According to mainstream media, they really like the CPI for whatever reason. But what we are seeing from a quantitative measure is that puts are becoming expensive for the mid-June to mid-July time period. And what that means when they become expensive, it means there's quite a bit of desire to have it. Not much desire to get into calls, quite a bit of desire to get into puts. Very useful graphic. All right, interesting. And we could check on that stuff a little bit more when the market opens. More than happy to see what's going on there. But wow, all right, where are we at? The 30-minute is still bearish, but it's trying to get onto the top side of the cloud. The 5-minute and the 10-minute on the S&P 500 futures market now going bullish in the short term. Same thing on the NASDAQ, the 5 and the 10 going bullish. And the 30-minute, technically a bearish cloud, but it is trying to break to the upside. So let's see how this all ends up going. Right now, the NASDAQ is slightly down. Well, what's the SPY? Oops, I did not mean to. I just saw a dip for some unknown reason. What's going on? Tonto? Help me, brother. We're just giving... Oh, okay. It didn't give that. It just looks way more dramatic on my 1-minute chart over here. Okay. So, hang on. Was this just lagging behind? So we're still very much down from yesterday's close, and we're actually below yesterday's low. And the reason I'm really bringing that up is, as we've articulated many, many times before, upside gap fill plays are strong plays. So the upside gap fill would be to yesterday's low at 525.37, which is just under $1 from where we're trading right now. And then a similar situation on the Qs, where the low yesterday, actually this one's even closer. Oh, nope, there's actually no gap. So the Qs have been bouncing enough that at this exact moment, there's not an upside gap fill. If we dip a bit more, that might end up becoming true, but you could see that the Qs are actually above their low from yesterday. Not the same story with the SPY. Obviously, we know that the SPY and the Qs are very correlated, but you might be thinking, well, why is the SPY like worse off? The SPY is worse off because it obviously includes things that the Qs don't. So remember, the Qs, the NASDAQ, does not like, one of the core tenets of the NASDAQ is it doesn't include financial plays. The SPY obviously does. It has a whole financial sector. So this tells you that one of the weak sectors happens to be financials. So just want to throw that out there, just a little bit of a learning moment. And right now, financials are very much in play just because they're going to be massively impacted by the rate cuts, lack of rate cuts is what I should say. More so, they're really going to be impacted by the Fed fund rate. They're going to be impacted by the craziness in the dollar. They're going to be impacted by what's going on with yields and i.e. bonds. Much more, I guess, sensitive to the current state of the economy, and that is showing by the discrepancy between the SPY and the Qs. And that's been apparent pretty much strongly for the past 2 weeks now, where the Qs have clearly outperformed. And it also helps, obviously, that you have names such as NVIDIA that are absolutely dominating. NVIDIA hitting another all-time high yesterday. So just a couple of things to chat about. While we're talking about the economy, I alluded to this a little bit ago, but apparently as a globe, we are $315 trillion in debt. You might be thinking, well, hang on, how's the whole globe in debt? Who do we own the debt to? And the answer to that is aliens. 100% aliens. Does after hours trading correlate with the gap fill thesis? Does after hours trading I don't know what that actually means. Gaps are created by the cash session. Sometimes there are gaps on the Globex session. They're going to happen a lot less just because of their trading 23 hours. But I don't really fully understand. Does after hours trading correlate with the gap fill thesis? I just don't know what you're saying, really. I mean, it's as basic as this. I don't think anyone needs to overcomplicate it. You come to something like the SPY, you look at the daily chart and you say, oh, is there a gap? If the market were to open right now at 524.66, there would be about a roughly 75-cent gap to the upside, which is to the range in which we traded the previous day. Obviously, we're gapping down right now, so you could play the upside gap fill. If we gapped up, you could play the downside gap fill. So I guess maybe some visuals would be a little bit more helpful right here. But if we open right there, there's going to be a literal gap. This white region would be the gap, assuming we're opening roughly here, 524.66. There's a literal gap in the chart. I hope that visual helps. I'm not really quite understanding your question of how does it correlate with extended hours trading? I guess if you want to try to reframe that, I guess right here is a pretty obvious gap. That's a gap. The high from one day does not overlap the low from the previous day. There's a gap in the chart. Given enough time, this gap is going to get filled. Is this still a full gap right here? Let me see. We'll check it out. So there was a gap between Tuesday and Wednesday, the 14th to the 15th. It got filled a little bit, but it didn't get actually, hang on. Nope, there's still a little bit of a gap between this high, and it did puncture it a little bit here, but there is a gap to whatever this high is, 523.83. That would be another very valid play, especially if you were leaning a bit bearish, just to get this downside gap fill that was created between Tuesday the 14th and Wednesday the 15th, if you want to check this out yourself. What is this one? I know it's early, but I just want to say that Olive Garden is way better than Texas Roadhouse. I was able to get a phone from one of the guards at the insane asylum again today. Fair point. Fair that I'm happy you're at least getting the help it seems that you need. If you think that Olive Garden is somehow better than Texas Roadhouse. I don't want to go on too much of a, I guess, yelling rant here, but I do want to point out that orange juice is ripping once again, since we're talking about crazy things. Orange juice, literal orange juice, actually squeezed, And then it got hit pretty hard. Then it popped back up. Then it consolidated from February all the way to May and did absolutely nothing. And now orange juice has been ripping again. It made an all-time high on Tuesday, May 28th, orange juice. So for those of you, I guess, playing just some commodities, what a freaking move. Casey, this should be coffee. Coffee's on the move too. Not squeezing to all-time highs, but just actually pretty bullish. So we're seeing inflated prices across commodities in general. I see some people commenting on silver. A lot of commodities across the board, uppity, up, up, up. And with things going up and up and up, that is apparently global debt. So I figured, why not take out 5 minutes of our life to learn how we possibly got here? Oh, now they're... Why would you play a baby in tennis? That's just rude. E-Trade's really into these baby videos. It's kind of weird. And then they made the ones that were making fun of meme stocks, and all the quote-unquote apes got like so pissed off about it.
Of $315 trillion and counting.
We haven't seen this kind of debt since the Napoleonic Wars. We're getting close to 100% of the global GDP.
$315 trillion is a staggering number to visualize, but consider this. In 2024, global gross domestic product, or GDP, amounted to $109.5 trillion, slightly over a third of that global debt number. Another way to picture it, there are about 8.1 billion of us living in the world today. If we were to divide that debt up by person, each of us would owe about $39,000. So with global debt at a record high, should you be concerned? And how do we get here in the first place?
All valid questions. I just want to know what alien species we own.
Global debt combines borrowings from households, businesses, and governments. You're probably most familiar with household debt, which includes things like mortgages, credit card, and student debt. At the beginning of 2024, this amounted to $59.1 trillion. Business debt, which corporations use to finance their operations and growth, sat at $164.5 trillion,
so
with the financial sector
right
alone making up $70.4 trillion of that amount. And finally, there's government debt, which is used to help fund public services and projects without raising taxes. Countries can borrow from each other or from global institutions such as the World Bank or the International Monetary Fund. But governments can also raise money by selling bonds, which is essentially an IOU from the state to investors.
What's going to be most
and like
of this.
all loans, it includes interest. Public debt stood at $91.4 trillion. While debt may have a bad rap, it isn't necessarily a bad thing. It could help an individual get an education or join the property ladder. It enables businesses to start up and scale up. And though national debt is the most contentious of the three, it can give governments the leverage they need to build the economy, for social spending, or to respond to a...
Does anyone find it interesting that with all of this debt, the portion that is the smallest, as in like individual debt or something like student debt, the media's attention is on the smallest chunk of it? I don't know. It's kind of, out of the 300 plus trillion in debt, the large chunk is the government. And then yet you never really hear about that. We're only hearing about this a little bit now because we know that the interest payments on our debt are the thing we're spending the most money on pretty much ever. Like that, we spend more money now on servicing our debt than we do on national security. That's crazy. And so it's finally getting some media attention, but not really. Still, most media attention actually happens to be the smallest form of debt, like individual, like things such as like student debt or real estate or something like that. Interesting.
A crisis. Written record shows public debt has been around for at least 2,000 years, primarily used to establish towns, cities, states and nations, and to fund wars. Governments have long amassed heavy debts from wartime expenses, such as the Napoleonic Wars, Franco-Prussian War, and the U.S. Civil War in the 19th century. World War II, the most expensive war in history, triggered several debt crises, with most of the outstanding loans being owed to the United States. Since the 1950s, there have been 4 major waves of debt accumulation. The first debt wave originated from Latin America in the 1980s, which led 16 countries in that region to restructure their borrowings. The second wave impacted Southeast Asia at the turn of the 21st century, while the US and Europe took the brunt of the third global debt wave during the 2007 to 2008 global financial crisis. We're now in the fourth wave, which began in 2010 and coincided with the COVID-19 pandemic. Governments had to take on even more debt to help businesses and its citizens cushion the impact of lockdowns. Global debt rose to 256% of GDP in 2020, a 28 percentage point increase, and the biggest one-year debt rise since the Second World War. But the pandemic just exacerbated a problem that was already there. Debt had been piling up for at least a decade before, as individuals, companies, and governments spent beyond their means. Just look at this graph from the World Bank, which shows debt as a percentage of GDP rapidly climbing from 2008.
Nothing
this
to
brings
see
us
there.
to a critical question. How much debt is too much debt? When does it become unsustainable? To put it simply, it's when you can no longer afford it. For example, when a government is forced to make cuts in areas that hurt its people, such as education or healthcare, just to keep up with payments. Take Zambia, for instance. In 2021, debt servicing accounted for 39% of its national budget. That year, the government spent more on paying these debts than education, health, water, and sanitation combined, and it's completely hampered the nation's ability to invest in its future.
In a way, it's kind of unifying in a weird sense that it's not just here in the US. It's like, oh, wow, no government knows what they're doing. All these governments are messing up the money supplies. It feels nice that it's not just us completely fumbling the situation. It does feel a little bit better that, like, globally, all politicians don't know what they're doing when it comes to the economy. So we're all like kind of in the same shit show together. It's unifying, you know, it's a real through connection for all humans.
To GDP ratio is the economic metric that compares a country's government debt to its gross domestic product. It's usually presented as a percentage and is seen as a good indicator of that country's ability to service its debts. So let's say we have two countries, each with $30 billion in debt. Sounds like they have the same problem, right? But if it turns out that one of those countries has a $30 billion economy and the other has a nearly $30 trillion economy, it's clear which country is shouldering the bigger debt burden. This, often coupled with unfavorable foreign exchange and interest rates, is why debt is seen as risky for smaller economies. But there are, of course, exceptions. Japan, the world's fourth largest economy, is also one of the world's most indebted countries, with total debt sitting above 600% of GDP. And while the bulk of Japan's debt is public, in recent years it has been the financial sector piling on, not the government. Around two-thirds of the $315 trillion owed originates from mature economies, with Japan and the United States contributing the most to the debt pile.
Hell yeah, brother.
But
Number
generally,
one.
the debt to GDP ratio for mature economies has been coming down. On the other hand, emerging markets held $105 trillion in debt, but the EM debt to GDP ratio hit a new high of 257%, pushing the overall ratio up for the first time in 3 years. China, India, and Mexico were the biggest contributors. This fourth wave has been the biggest, fastest, and most wide-ranging rise in debt we've seen since World War II. Better policies and financial regulations have kept a far-reaching debt crisis at bay. But with so much money on the line, the prospect of a stronger dollar or a trade war could be enough to tip a country or several into default.
Well, we all just learned a little something. I would say the best way to summarize that, it's not just the US that's screwed. It's not just Europe that's screwed. In fact, it's these emerging markets that are even in more of a messed up situation. But across the board, I'm just learning that none of these governments really know how to do anything properly with their local currency. Speaking of governments, I do want to give you an update on what in the world is going on with Trump's trial. So we know that jury deliberations started yesterday, and very, very, very confusing things went down. Now, remember, I feel the need to explain this to everyone every single day when we're talking about this stuff. I'm not a lawyer. I don't speak legalese. My entire legal knowledge is from watching the entire series of Suits 1.5 times. So it does make me more informed than people who never watch Suits, only watched it one time, but I did not finish the second watch through. So I just want to clarify where my knowledge is at. Now, what happened yesterday was people started to realize that generally, and feel free on this one, honestly, to correct me if I'm wrong, generally in a criminal trial, which is what Trump is currently facing, you have to be like beyond a reasonable doubt found guilty. And they all vote, it has to be unanimous, beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay, that's how we deal with you are innocent till proven guilty, and the definition of guilt, beyond reasonable doubt, a unanimous vote. Apparently, that's not true. Apparently, on any given day or situation, judges can switch that up. And a lot of people are starting to like point out what the judge, I believe his name is Merchant, was just saying of it. We'll get into it because it literally doesn't make sense. It doesn't have to be. The way they're doing it is it's not the individual. Like, you know, when we listen to these trials, it's like count one, guilty or not guilty. Count two, guilty or not guilty. And the jury decides on each individual one. Apparently, this one is different where, like, if the example is like if there's 12 jurors and we're looking at 3 different counts, they could say 4 could say guilty on 1, 4 could say guilty on 2, 4 could say guilty on 3. And they're kind of looking at it like as a majority thing. Like it's so convoluted and not at all representative of what I thought our court system was. Like I said, if we have any lawyers in here or just people who are more informed, I feel free to call into the show and explain it. In fact, I would love if you guys did it. You can call in 570-209-8435. If one of the mods could throw that in chat, the phone number is 570-209-8435. And if you're a lawyer or just better understand the situation, I would truly appreciate it if you could call into the show and explain what is going on. Because in my mind, the jury said, count 1. Do we think he's guilty or not? If they all say guilty, beyond reasonable doubt, found guilty. But even if there's like, if there's dissenters or nope, not beyond reasonable doubt, then it's just not guilty. Apparently, that is not the situation right now. So feel free to call in and explain it to a dum-dum like me, and probably some of the dum-dums in the office or the audience. Not that you're dumb. I'm just saying we collectively don't know that much about the legal system. Trump trial update. Jury ends first day of deliberations after asking to rehear testimony and the judge's instructions. And this judge's instructions, as you're about to find out, 50 pages of instructions, literally took an hour to read, and the jury is not allowed to bring it into deliberations with them. So it's just read aloud, and they were expected to memorize 50 pages of instructions. The New York jury deliberating criminal charges against former President Donald... Apologies, I just sneezed if you didn't hear it. The New York jury deliberating criminal charges against former President Donald Trump ended its first day of deliberations. Jurors asked to rehear trial testimony from Trump's ex-lawyer and fixer, Michael Cohen, and from David Pecker, former publisher of the National Enquirer. Trump, the first U.S. president to face criminal charges, is accused of falsifying business records related to Cohen paying hush money to the adult film actress, Ms. Stormy Daniels. So remember, that is not... The fact that he paid this lady to not talk about it, that's not the legal issue. It's more of where did the money come from, and did you cover up where the money came from for the said payment? The payment itself, you're allowed to do that. People get paid and they sign NDAs all day, every day. It happens. Not a big deal. The big deal is where'd the money come from, and did you try to cover up where the money came from? But this is NBC right here kind of talking about it.
I got it. These are the instructions that the jury has to follow in Donald Trump's hush money trial before they can reach a verdict. 53 pages. This is complicated. This is lengthy stuff. It took the judge over an hour to read it. But guess what?
Over an hour.
The jury doesn't get this in the room during deliberations. They have to write questions, they can write notes, but they don't get these instructions. In New York, both parties have to agree and the judge has to agree. And in this case, it didn't happen. They don't have this in the room right now. I got it. These are the instructions.
So just that alone, not even with the confusion of like, how are they defining guilt or how does Trump become guilty or not guilty in this particular case? But isn't that alone odd? 50 pages of instructions. And as the reporter alluded to, within the state of New York, both sides and the judge have to agree if they can have all the instructions with them. And I guess one of those parties decided, no, actually, you're not going to have it in there. So that's a bit strange. That feels weird that who memorizes 50 pages of instructions and they have to write the questions and go, like, it just feels so strange. But anyway, Trump jury asks about key meeting on day one of deliberations. New York jury could take hours or days to reach verdict. Jury asked to hear testimony about Trump Tower meeting. So here's Bloomberg's take on the situation.
When people hear Trump claim the trial is rigged and so forth, what I think is really important to remember is that the people who are deliberating right now, they are the ones who are going to decide, not the judge, whether or not former President Trump will be convicted of these felony counts or not. This is a jury of everyday Americans, everyday New Yorkers, who are going to listen very carefully to all the testimony, all the evidence, look at all the documents, think about the jury instructions that were given to them. And these everyday Americans are the ones who are going to be deciding Trump's fate. So when he says that it's rigged, it's really an attack on those Americans, which I think that, whether you support Donald Trump or not,
I don't think it's an attack on the jurors. I think it's an attack on the
judge. Of our country believe very
that's not how I
deeply
interpret
in the
it.
Jury as a fundamental part of democracy. It's something we don't maybe think about that much anymore. People maybe will try to get out of jury service or whatever, but to the founders of the United States, it was an incredibly important bulwark of liberty. Those were words that they used to ensure that we had a country that was ruled by law, that no one was above the law, including, in this case, a former president, and that no matter how powerful.
Kind of interesting, taking the vibe. We're not going to listen to that whole thing. Kind of interesting, I think, that it's taking the vibe of, like, she's kind of talking like you are guilty till proven innocent, which is just so opposite. In America, you are innocent until proven guilty. So just want to share that with Bloomberg. To probably no one's surprise, this whole craziness is actually pushing Trump higher in the polls. I don't know how many of you guys saw that movie, The Campaign, with Zach Galifianakis and Will Ferrell. This reminds me a lot of that. Now, if you guys haven't seen that movie, I highly recommend it. It is a hilarious comedy about obviously politicians and getting elected. And the premise of it is those two are running against each other and they just start to do completely horrible, heinous things to each other that becomes public information. And it actually starts to drive them higher in the polls. It is hilarious. I don't want to spoil anything, but I think a lot of you who have seen the movie know the exact scene that I'm talking about with Will Ferrell, who he does something he very much shouldn't do, very immoral, and he actually shoots up in the polls. And apparently that was Simpsons-esque in its way of predicting what's going on here. It seems as if the more mud that's being thrown at Trump, we're getting, I guess, the measurement in polls, like if you believe the polls, and obviously, I guess, depending on who's running the poll, how the polls run, you might want to be taking it with a grain of salt. But based on the information we currently have, as more of this stuff is developing, Trump's polling is going higher and higher and higher, which is insane. So anyway, the 2024 election won't be up to the same voters who chose Biden. It may be a presidential rematch, but it's not the same electorate as 2020. And this is actually a pretty good read, in my opinion, of just what's going on, the changes in states, the changing in the voting base. And this itself is going to have, like, not only reflective of the people who previously voted and voting again, but it really is a whole new election. So if you guys have some time and you want to get into, like, I guess, the nuanced quantitative measures of what's happening, I actually thought this was a pretty interesting breakdown of how this vote, yeah, there's obviously some similarities with the previous vote of who matters, who doesn't matter, what is the composition of each electorate, but then some of them are very, very different. So worthwhile to pay attention to. Obviously, there's quite a bit of focus on the swing states. The most recent polling actually has Trump winning every single swing state except for one in which he is tied with Biden, which is kind of a big deal. When you're winning every single swing state, -1, and in that one you're tied, you're within the, I guess, like, margin of potential error. That That's ridiculous right now. It kind of makes no sense, but when you really think about it, I guess it does. It's reflective of people in the most general sense thinking, hey, this is BS. So like it's almost like a giant troll, if that makes sense. That's the best way I could really articulate it. But it's becoming a giant troll where the more wild things that happen, people are really digging in their heels and they're making a joke of it. And somehow enough people are of that same mindset that it's driving Trump higher in polling as worse things are happening. And then it's gasoline on the fire, at least in my humble opinion, when we have a lot of like this confusion around what's going on with the judge and whatnot. So actually, did anyone call in with that? I did see someone in here say that they're an attorney. What was this one? Extremely strange. What was this? Stacy 6. I'm an attorney and that juror count thing doesn't make sense. I don't see anything on it to know what this could be referring to, but you need all jurors on each count. Extremely strange. They almost always bring the jury instructions with them. I hope they continuously ask the judge for a repeat of them until he finally gives it to them. That's how I thought it was. I was like, I guess it was silly of me to assume, yeah, I didn't even know the jury gets instructions. It makes sense, but why would they not all just have a printed out set of instructions to know? Like, it's weird to give a jury instructions and then not let them use said instructions. I just don't get it. They have to memorize it. That makes no sense. So I would love for someone to be able to explain that. And in terms of a criminal count, or criminal charges, I thought the jury all had to agree. Yes, guilty. And you go just count by count by count. I thought that's how the legal system ran, but apparently it's not. What's his Merchant? Is that how you spell his last name? I'm sure right away. What is this one? So this is the wild part. New York Judge Merchant just told jurors that they don't have to unanimously agree on what crime Trump is guilty of. It could be a 4-4-4 split, obviously with the example. So this is my confusion, as I'm alluding to. I am not an expert on this, but I would truly, truly appreciate someone who does know more to know what's going on.
Well, let me ask you about the three choices. And one thing in particular that this judge...
And also, just for some bias here, this is being presented by Fox, so obviously they're going to be a bit more supportive of Trump.
...said that these jurors could do. He just delivered what is being called really the pinnacle of all of this. He said that there is no need to agree on what has occurred. They can disagree on what the crime was among the three choices. Thus, this means that they could split 4-4-4 and the judge would still treat them unanimously. What does that mean?
That's a great question. What does that mean?
Well, it's really outrageous because in a normal criminal case, every statutory crime has what we call elements of the offense. Like in a bank robbery case, it's, you have to rob. It's got to be a financial institution. You have to show intent. Those are the things the jury has to agree on unanimously that they were proved beyond a reasonable doubt. Here, what we're doing is taking the element that actually makes this a felony, because remember, falsification of records is normally a misdemeanor in New York. What makes it a felony is that you're concealing or committing another crime. And here the judge is telling them they don't have to agree about what the other crime is under circumstances where that not only is what makes this a felony, what makes it a 4-year potential prison penalty rather than a year or less, but it's also what gets us into the courtroom, because if this had been a misdemeanor, the time to bring this case would have lapsed in 2019. So the only reason they're still able to bring this case is because it's a felony, allegedly, and yet now the judge is saying, you don't have to agree on what the felony is.
Does that make sense to anyone? Like, is it just me that I'm trying to follow what they're saying? So they're saying, as long as you agree something was wrong and a majority agrees something was illegal, you don't have to have specifically the law that was broken. Like, if we're all sitting there, like, this is my interpretation of what was just stated. So there's a group of jurors and they, let's say an event happened. And then the question is, was that event illegal? And as long as people say yes, they don't have to agree on what, like, you could be like, I think it was illegal because of A. Someone else could say, I think it was illegal because of B. I think it was illegal because of C. My interpretation is what they're saying is, as long as enough people think it was illegal, you don't have to agree on what made it illegal. You just have to think that it was illegal. Like, is that right? Am I interpreting it? Like, is my interpretation correct? That they don't have to narrowly define what was actually illegal. You just have to agree. Like, I could think it was reason A, you could think it was B, someone else could C, but the judge is saying, well, no, that just means 3 of you think that the event was illegal. Is that, am I on the right path here, or am I just taking too many crazy pills this morning? Because this one doesn't necessarily make sense. I could text Viva. We could get the input from an actual lawyer. Anyway, I will come back to your voicemails. Please call in with your interpretation of what's going on. The phone number is 570-209-8435. 570-209-8435. Call into the show. But just to be respectful of time and everything, I should talk a little bit about the market. We started early today because we got the first revision, aka the second read of the Q1, quarter 1, 2024 GDP for the U.S. economy, and it came in apparently at expectation of 1.3%. Obviously, with that news, there was a bit of a pop, and it's kind of coming down right now. So even with that pop, though, I do want to clarify that we're down. The SPY is currently trading down 0.37% from yesterday's close, and we're actually below yesterday's low as well, which, yes, very much does set up the opportunity for an upside gap fill. Upside gap fill on the SPY to 525.37, and there's an upside gap fill on the Qs to 455.34. That one much, much closer. I kind of like the idea of that play because I see that the dollar is weak and bonds are actually strong. So I think there's a high, well, I actually know there's a high statistical chance that the SPY trades up to at least, at some point, might go higher, but at least to 525.37 today. And with the Qs, that would be the same, but I mean, we're pretty much already there, and the line in the sand there would be 455.34. So that's why we started early. I do want to let you know we are in earnings season. The big one to pay attention to tonight is probably Costco and Dell. Early this morning, we heard from Kohrs, did not do well. For all my marinara levels, Canopy Growth Company reported this morning, and then after the market closed yesterday, we heard from Salesforce, which also got its dick kicked in. Salesforce, I guess I must have been doing an analysis on it a while ago. It's been a minute since I've used those pink lines. But anyway, yeah, it closed at 271 yesterday. This is CRM, Salesforce, all the way down to 225. It is down 17% in pre-market trading. So congrats to everyone who had puts on it. RIP to everyone who had calls on it. But if you were bearish on Salesforce, you crushed it. Absolutely crushed it. So I just want to let you know about that. Costco, what is Costco's? Is it just cost? Costco. Yeah, it is just cost. Actually looking very strong going, wow, Costco. This is one of the main holdings in one of my straight beat strategies. Costco looking real good right now. So anyway, they report, and then Dell is the other important one reporting after the market closes. Also, wow, Dell's ripping it. Why does no one ever talk about Dell? Dell was trading at 41. It's now at 180 in less than a year and a half. Why are we never talking about Dell? Dell is ripping. What? No one's talking about Dell. Why not? Dell and Costco both crushing it. Obviously, we're going to see if they continue. Salesforce just got crushed. Kohrs also got crushed. Kohrs right here. Wait. Where are the KSS? Kohrs currently down 25%. That one's getting destroyed. CGC is Canopy Growth. They also reported this morning, and they're actually up about 8% in pre-market trading. So there's a quick rundown on earnings, and the other ones. Oh, Alta. I know some of you are Alta traders, playing some of the makeup brand. Relative to risk reward, I kind of like the bullish play on it, just because, I mean, you might want to wait till after earnings, but if it holds, you could just risk 360, 365. Like, you could use October's low as your risk, and relative to risk to reward, minimal risk And then you have potential reward of an upside gap fill to 517, potential upside gap fill of 560. So just in terms of just pure risk to reward ratios, Alta, you're buying a dip and you might get lucky with it. So I just want to put that on everyone's radar as well. Salesforce shares plunged 16% on the first revenue miss since 2006. Kohrs stock plummets 20% after massive earnings miss. Both are down even more right now. After revenue miss, Salesforce CEO details the quote unquote measured buying environment for enterprise software companies. It's not the only stock getting hit. American shares tumble 13% after sales strategy backfires, carrier cuts growth. So American Airlines, AAL, currently down, well, it was down yesterday, 13.5% on that news. So airline stocks getting a little bit rocked on that. Obviously, American taking the brunt of it. United ended up making a pretty decent recovery. Let's look at Delta also. So basically everything took a hit on that news, and the only one that really got messed up was American. The other one's making somewhat of a decent recovery. From ATF, if you are using Rhythmic, stop trading now. What? Wait, seriously? Where are you seeding that news? Because I'm on Rhythmic. What happened? What someone give me the lowdown on what's going on with Apex and Rhythmic, because I do use Rhythmic as the data. Where are you seeing this so I can read it? Do I need to only been saying it for an hour? Well, the market's not open. I wasn't trading it anyway, but I'm saying, where is this news? It's not connecting. Rhythmic is trading by itself. Mine isn't working either. Ninja Trader just went back up. Are they tweeting about it or anything? Apex Trader funding. Let's see what's going on. I'm not seeing anything. Why wouldn't they do a text or the Discord and the Skype? Ninja was down for a bit. It just connected. So is it fine now? Because mine's connected. I'm pretty sure mine is perfectly connected. So wait. If it is connected, am I good to go or am I not? Mine is connected. So am I good to rock or am I somehow completely 100% screwed? Let me know. Let me know on that one. I'm not seeing anything. Why would they not tweet? Do they email people? I'm not seeing an email from them. Do not trade. Don't trade. It went all FUBAR. Well, mine has been, I just left mine on last night when I was trying to figure out. It's blowing up accounts and phantom trades. But I kind of need the trading day. All right. Anyway, I guess we're going to figure that out in a little bit. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter. Right here, I break down the previous week, what to look forward to in the upcoming week. I give you an idea of all the major macroeconomic events per day. So, for example, today, Thursday, we already got the initial jobless claims and GDP. Both pretty much came in at expectations. Pending home sales is at 10 a.m. today. The New York Fed President John Williams speaking just past noon. And then after the market closes, we're going to be here from Lori Logan, 5 p.m. ET. So these are the things to put on your radar today. And there's also no big bond auctions or anything like that. I did make sure to double check. I give you all the earnings, and arguably the most useful, I give you the seasonality of each individual day. So today, Thursday, May 30th, looking at this individual day, buying at open on the S&P 500 futures market, selling at close on the S&P 500 futures market. If you just bought at open, sold at close on ES, this is what your hypothetical equity curve would look like over the past 25 years, obviously taking one trade per year. It was a bit bullish, bit choppy, then a bit more bullish, giving some of it back. So I would say that it is leaning bullish. We've seen much more bullish days. We've also seen much more neutral or bearish days. So I would say the bulls have a slight favor, but it's not it's 52 to 48. It's not something that I guess I'm really going to be taking into account today for my own trading. Tomorrow, though, is definitely more bearish. Tomorrow from market open, which is technically 6 p.m. ET, to market close, tomorrow clearly has a bearish bias. And then to give you an update of what is going on with Piper strategy this week, here's how my trades yesterday. I had an abnormally good day. Very, very excited about it. what had happened was around 11:34 technically, Piper eventually fired off with a bear signal, 4 out of 5 confidence, SPY call credit spread, Q call credit spread, looking at 528, looking at 459. Yes, this is a bit more of an advanced options trading strategy, but as soon as you start doing it, I promise you the light bulb's going to go on and it's going to make a lot more sense in your world. It seems daunting at first, but it truly isn't. But anyway, the SPY one returned 100%, $24 on 176. The Qs returned 100%, $28 on 172, and obviously both of them together $52, 100% return, and this could be scaled up for every $348. So like you could take, this is the minimum unit sizing. I myself ended up trading SPX and I did 2 different trades. I did a scalp in the morning where I told you guys all about it. And here's what happened was you could see 1016 to 1035. I sold a, what did I do? A put credit spread. I went from 170 to 120. I had 10 of them. So that means I made 500 right here, 10 times 50, 500. And then the other play was a call credit spread. And this was my interpretation of Piper. I sold 10 of these at 80 cents and I just let it expire worthless. So that was another $800, 800, 500. That's 1,300 before fees. And the reason why you should be in the Discord is this trade alone would have paid for almost 3 full years. So in one day, if you took similar trades or better trades, you would have obviously been able, in one single day, would have been able to pay off almost 3 years of access to the trading Discord. And obviously, just to put my money where my mouth is, the first month is free anyway. I very much believe within the first month, you're going to learn enough, you're going to trade well enough, you're going to find enough value within the first free month that you're going to be net ahead to stay for as long as you potentially want. So just wanted to show that off. I want to be as transparent as I can, share obviously the signal, share my personal trades, and even yesterday you guys saw the other trades. So I don't really include these ones because this is a little bit more degenerate of what is or isn't going on. Actually, I should kill this order. Now that I'm talking about it. So you guys saw the degenerate trade yesterday that made about 7 to 8K. And then I ended up doing another degenerate trade where I had 100 put contracts yesterday and then scaled out of 70 of them. And now I'm just letting the final 30 kind of rock to see how this all ends up going today. Very, very excited for this market open. We have about 8 minutes. So let me move this over here. Let's you guys know to sign up, join the Discord, obviously, blah, 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 blah. Where are we at in pre-market? So I'm not seeing anything. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing anything from Apex right now. The SPY coming down a little bit. The Q's right at the low from yesterday. Bonds are looking good and the dollar is looking weak. Interesting. So how do I want to play this? I think the odds, so I'm making this call out right now. I know that on any given day, gap fills are a statistically favorable play. Today, I'm feeling more confident about it because TLT is showing strength and the dollar is showing weakness. So when I see bonds showing strength, that means yields have weakness. So we're in a scenario where the dollar's weak and yields are weak and we're gapping down. I would argue that it makes it much more favorable to play this upside gap fill. So with that in mind, I'm going to dump these puts out of the gate because if my thesis is that the market is going to eventually at some point today go up to 525.37, well, I don't need to be in puts as the market is going up an entire dollar. So what I'm going to do is pretty much out of the gate, just sell these puts. Yeah, I'm going to sell these out of the gate. And then I might also, I might do a put credit spread. Do I want to do a put credit spread on this to play the upside? I might do a put credit spread to play the upside gap fill and see if I can scout 500 off of that. So that's the name of the game, folks. That is the name of the game. Sell my long puts, capture all that money, enter into a put credit spread, play the upside move for a scalp to get about $500. That's my plan out of the gate to do this. Apex chat there for you, Matt. Still won't connect. It's not fixed. But if mine's connected, am I good? That's my question. Because what I can see right here is that I am fully connected. So does that mean I should turn all of this off or what? What does that mean? I have 20 accounts on the line all around. I don't know. They're actually all in the green, which I would like for them to get more. No data errors. How does this data match up with mine? right now the data is matching up as it should. Let me just double check this. Yeah, no, my data is spot on. Like, I'm just comparing these two charts to each other. So the 15-minute on NQ is down right here. And it, I mean, looks the exact same. It doesn't seem like it's delayed or anything. If it's me, I will log off and log back on. You're good. You heard it's play Robinhood. Robinhood chart looks crazy good into the summer. Can you go over the levels? Maybe a little bit later. I care more about what's going on with the overall market at the moment. Well, I'm with APEX and there is instructions. Okay, well, I'm with what do you mean you're with Apex? What does this mean? It sounds like the only reason I have a connection right now that's actually working is because of like the fact that I've been logged in since last night. I guess we're gonna let it ride. I guess keep me apprised to the situation. Keep me informed on what in the world is actually happening, because this does seem particularly nuts. All right. I know my stuff, I don't think I have to worry about until a little bit into the market open. So I'm my first concern is obviously dumping these puts. And then also I should be getting ready to get into that other play. SPX, options, vertical. All right. Yes. Okay. I am prepped up. Two things I need to execute swiftly at market open. Dumping the puts that I currently have, whatever they're in, they're going to make money. I don't know how much money, but obviously we're going to be finding out somewhat soon. What else do we want up today? I know a lot of you are fans of NVIDIA, so we're going to see what's going on with NVIDIA. And I guess, what else do you guys want up? What else is on everyone's mind? Julian or Apex is the shit from, but the issue is not Apex, it's Rhythmic. I think a lot of people don't really fully understand how everything's integrated. Rhythmic is the data provider. So if there is a data issue, you look at the data provider. Apex is the service on top. So it goes, Apex is funding the accounts, Rhythmic is data, and then Trade-of-8 could also be data. You can pick, there's two data providers, Rhythmic and Trade-of-8. And then Trade-of-8 also serves as the charting. And then if you're using Rhythmic as the data provider, then the other option is Ninja for your charting. It's not like Apex isn't in the business of, I guess, data. All right, let me DJT. People are saying DJT. I guess it is kind of interesting with the trial. All right, so right after market open, when I figure out what in the world is going on, I will listen to your voicemails to see if anyone had more clarity on what this whole juror thing is. Lord have mercy, I'm extremely late. I'm normally early. It's all right. It's all right. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. So I do want to dump these. So what they say clear Ninja cache folder, but still didn't go through. There's an announcement on Apex's website. The market's about to open. How could they be doing this stuff now? Where on the website? I'm not seeing anything on the website about it. I'm reloading. Where are the, where's the announcements, folks? You got, help me help you. Help me help you. All right. Well, as always, we're running it very, very close. All right. I am geared up to drop these. I am geared up to drop these. All right. How many do I have? I have 30 out of my 100 left. My average is about 114. And let's see what this actually ends up opening to. We're going to find out in about 10 seconds. 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Dingity ding ding ding. The casino is open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly. If not, have fun. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. All right, I'm getting my order in. The scary voice is still on. Errors. All right. What happened? Did I get my order in? Is it not in? Is it in? So I did put in an order to dump these at... It must have got hit. No, it didn't get hit. Maybe it did? Hello? All right. 30 at... I don't know. Oh, here's the order is pending. All right, I must have put in 165. Nope, don't like the movement on that. Let's change it to 150. 152. Come on. All right, I moved the order a little bit closer because like I said, I just want out of this position. And as I'm doing that, that should have, did it get hit? It should have got hit. Nope, very, very close. Someone got to fill at 152. Just was not this guy. And then it dumped. Ah, all right. You know what we're going to do? Confirm. We're going to mark it out of this. Market order, all 30. I'm in about, yeah, we'll sell this, take this money. Good. All right. I could review that trade in a little bit, but just locked in a bit more money there. And what I really wanted to do was where are we at? Today's the 30th, right? I can't mess this one up. Sell. Am I on the right side of the trade? I am. All right, we're getting our orders in quick. I don't know if I'm going to get mine. All right, so I dumped that. Like I said, I will go over the history of what that trade was from yesterday to today. Nope, not getting my fill. Son of a bitch. Modify. All right. All right, the order was modified. Am I going to get my fill? Give me my fill. Give me my fill. DJT, strong out of the gate. All right, just got my fill. Like I said, I am going for this upside gap fill. There is a gap in the chart. That is what I'm playing this morning. Upside gap fill to 525.37. Hang on. 525.37. Basically, literally yesterday's low, 525.37. And on my chart, it's on the red right here. So I always, whenever you see like my lines, the white line is the previous closing line, the red line is the previous low, the green line is the previous high, and the dashed red and green line are the high and the low from the session, the whole session before. The Nasdaq's taking a bit of a hit right now as Nvidia's taking a bit of a hit. I'm obviously playing this via the SPY. The Qs didn't even have a gap. They opened above the low, so there was no gap to be taken advantage of there. All right, cool beans, cool beans, cool beans. We're ATF website, then the help desk. Wait. So you're saying I have to ask the help desk? Oops. ATF. Nope. Help desk. Help desk. Where's the help desk? All right. Definitely don't need this. Please do not send any tickets about the current outage as we are investigating. Please keep an eye on this page as we will let you know the next steps. Please stop all trading on Rhythmic accounts if you are experiencing issues. This does not include TradeEvade accounts. Do not trade any accounts you think have been affected. Do not cancel. Do not remove accounts from your dashboard. But mine aren't being impacted. So I'm seeing it for today, but if you're experiencing issues, my data connection is fine. And the last time I checked, it looked like it was moving exactly how I would expect it. Is this the right value? Let's check this. Let me check this. Actually, let me check this. Let me just 11. Yeah, there seems to be no delay or anything on my end. You're welcome, but it's not. It says if you're like, mine doesn't have any issues right now. I'm fully connected and the data is the appropriate data, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm just eyeing it up to make sure that, yeah, there's no delay, I don't believe. Yeah, it looks like the proper data. So I'm leaving mine on because I'm not seeing problems. And then if I do have problems, obviously I'll just turn it off there and I'll follow what they said and just not touch it. No, it says if you are using Rhythmic, stop trading, but it doesn't. See, this is Nova. You gotta just read. It doesn't say that at all. This is one of the people are just not appreciating nuances anymore in this world right here. Please stop all trading on Rhythmic if you are experiencing issues. Like, did you just not read half of the sentence? Did you not? If you are experiencing issues, you gotta read. I don't know what to tell people. Details are important, especially when it comes to the world of trading. Yeah, I'm seeing I can't get Ninja data to work. Yeah, a lot of people are having these data issues. So it seems like the issue is actually connection, but I don't necessarily think people can trade then if they're not connected. All right. So I took the money on this. As we're waiting for this, let me go over what this other close trade was that I closed out. Last 30 days, 524, 524, 524. Okay, so right here, yesterday, I got 50 put contracts because I didn't like the bond auction, and I got to fill at 118. Then I decided to get 50 more at 110, so my average was 114. $1.14, I had 100 SPY puts. Yesterday at close, the market started to vomit, so I got out of half of them at 125, and I guess I must have had like a reach target in there because I jumped another 20 at $1.40. And then this morning, you could see I got out of those other 30 at basically $1.39. So pretty much the same as yesterday. So all three exits, the 50, the 30, and the 20 trunk of the 100 in total, were all in profit. I could figure out the math later. On top of it, it's even better because of the rebate. But yeah, so that was that full locked in trade. So especially for anyone in the Discord knowing about the swing trade, I just want to make it abundantly clear that I am completely out of the position. In fact, I should probably update that too. Dumped it all out of the other 50 at 140 each. All right, so I updated that. So the only reading comprehension is racist. I don't know if it's racist. It's just comprehension is, details matter. And I see that you're saying that you are in a live chat with them, but I'm not. Like if they truly did not want you to trade, they would say stop all trading. They wouldn't put some caveat of if you're having issues. Like it sounds like the main issue is a data connection issue. Mine has been up right now with no errant trades, nothing going on. The audio's on, you guys will hear it. yeah, I'm just, I guess, not experiencing any issues at the moment. If I do see issues, of course, I'm just going to like turn it all off and figure out what in the world's going on. Speaking of that, I guess I could wait till this turns on and we could figure out what's going on. Dell took a hit this morning. Dell, a hit? I mean, I know they have earnings coming up. Down 6%. Or wait, are the numbers already out? No, evening. So I guess like we're going to see. I guess this might be some pre-earnings anxiety, but overall Dell's chart looks very, very bullish. Very, very bullish. Oh, Tesla trying to recover back up. I don't know, really just range bound, but
order submitted.
Okay, let's see how screwed I either am or am not. Add alert. Let's add that alert. I just want to, did the alert turn on for this? Because I very much need to know. I need to get out of that scalp play at 525.37. Positions. Okay, I did hear something weird. Order. Did you guys hear it? Because I did. And I'm not seeing anything. So is this the start of an issue or is my brain going nuts? Am I losing my senses? Am I losing my faculties? I heard it too. But my issue wouldn't be an errant trade. It's actually the lack of a trade. No, yeah, that happened to me earlier. So I'm not seeing anything, and I'm double checking on Rhythmic. Recent orders? Is this maybe what? Open release. Is there a timestamp? I'm looking at the orders just to make sure nothing goes completely haywire here. You know what I should do just to be really safe here is take a screenshot of my account so I know all the values, so I have something to argue about. All right, so I'm screenshotting this and saving it just in case they have to push accounts, downloads. All right, got it. All right, so that's saved. Working orders. 18. Open. Status open. Well, I'm not seeing, I mean, literally just nothing is going through right now. Guess we'll find out. If you guys have any updates of what this is or isn't, please keep me informed. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Let's see what's going on with options. Granted, we're only 13 minutes into the day, but options are going bullish on the SPY, or technically the S&P 500. Wonky on the Qs, but a little bit more clear cut on the SPY. We're seeing some aggression. We're seeing puts being closed out, and we're seeing calls being purchased. So I'm hoping that this trend continues at a minimum point up until at least the low from yesterday on the SPY. I am targeting 525.37. That is what I'm personally doing with my own, like with the scalp play. Not necessarily in love with this. Not necessarily in love with that. Yes or no if we get a verdict today on what? On the Trump thing? I don't think so. I mean, if they come to a conclusion, we would get the verdict today, but it sounds like they are kind of far away. But I'm saying that hesitantly because I have absolutely no idea. You know what I could do myself? Okay, new idea. Let me shut this down. Do you really want to exit the application? oh, it is in trades now, but the trades themselves were super delayed. So whatever voice we heard, it ended up trading it. I'll double check, like a sanity check, to make sure that it is the right trade. It is the right trade. It just took forever for it to show up. So the trade executed properly on proper data, but the trade itself took a while to actually register, to like properly show up, but it executed at the right time. It executed at the right time. I'm just doing like quick sanity check. It's just it showing up took a bit. So it is doing something. So that is the issue I'm currently seeing. It looks like the proper trade was executed. I don't know how it's going to go on the other side. I don't know if it's just entries. I don't know if it's exits. I'm not really sure. But it did take a bullish position on the NASDAQ, which actually all of these are going to be trading the NASDAQ. So it's looking for a bit of a recovery, I'm guessing. All right. Once again, if anyone hears anything about this stuff, keep me in the loop. Much appreciated. But I am a fan. Well, I was a fan. Okay, I'm still kind of a fan. I'm not the biggest fan of this little dip right here, but the overall trend in options. What you're looking at right now, this is from Spot Gamma, and the white line is the price line of the S&P 500, and then the two colored lines are what's going on with options. So the teal green line is the 0 DTE. It's the quote-unquote next expiration, and obviously SPY trades or has expiration dates every single day, so it happens to be the 0 DTE. Then the purple line is what's going on with all options put together. So not just the 0 DT quote unquote next expiration, but it's that and every other one of measuring what's going on. So I just want to clarify the three lines on the chart. So on the right side, this is the delta notional value. And then on the left side, you actually have the S&P 500, the SPX, the actual index's price value, and then obviously time on the bottom. All right, let's see if this actually properly gets out. So it's almost like just being showed late on Rhythmic, but not necessarily like an erroneous, like it's not like getting me in at different values. Obviously I'm saying that, knock on wood. Let's see how this actually plays out with this exit. Let's see, come on, go, 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 go.
Target filled.
That worked. It worked a little, like, I mean, it did update right away. Two of them locked in, and the update was, at least on my side, seen instantaneously.
Target filled.
It is updating.
Target filled. Target filled.
That one's taking a little bit more. Unless it's in other positions.
Target filled.
Wait, what accounts are these? 53, 58. So this is a bit strange because 58 is actually showing that it locked in, but now it's still showing that it's live. But you could see that it hit its price target. Now it just updated. Okay, so it seems like the trades are right, but the update of the trades it takes a while for, like, you saw that it executed, and then it took a bit for it to be like, oh, okay, we should take it off everything. So it doesn't seem like the error is on the data. The data seems real time, and the trades seem real time, but the trades being updated and properly reflected to you does seem to be a bit off, is like what I'm seeing. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. Just doing some double checking on everything across the board. Oh, brother. Always something going on in the market, right? Just always something. Never an easy day in the world's largest casino. Speaking of never an easy day, I am getting fucked on that scalp trade right now. But that's life. All right, let's set an alert there for a breakout. Let's set an alert here for a breakdown. An alert there for a breakdown. Uh-oh. Speaking of diving to the breakdown, please don't forget, wait, is there one at 10 a.m. today? I think there is a pending home sales report at 10 a.m. today. Let me double check. It's in the newsletter. I believe Thursday, 10 a.m. pending home sales coming out in about 10 minutes. Might have a little bit of an impact here, so worthwhile to pay attention to. Yesterday and the day before, there were very important treasury auctions. They did not go well. That's why in the afternoon, yesterday and the day before, the dollar ripped, bonds plummeted, and the market eventually ended up selling as well. Will that be continuing today? The price action might continue, but it won't be treasury auction related because there's no big ones. There's some very short-term ones that I believe come out at 11:30, but whatever. FFIE moving fast. I bought 50 cents call option. Why? Why would you buy a call? Like, the premium's probably juiced. Why would you like buying any premium? Even if you're bullish, why wouldn't you just sell puts then? When things, and I know it's like a little bit more complicated, but I think once you start like really thinking of the market in a different way, it'll start to make a lot more sense to you. Do not buy premium when it's expensive. Sell premium. So if something's expensive, if premium's expensive, calls and puts are both expensive. It's just heightened volatility. That's what FFIE has. It's heightened volatility. So it's not a directional thing of bullish or bearish. It's just telling you, should you buy premium or sell premium? So when you're saying FFIE, I would assume that the premium's absurdly juiced. And you saved yourself a little bit by the fact that you're in the money, but generically, you do not want to be buying premium when it was under $9. What does that mean? Are you saying the stocks? Please tell me you're not talking about the stock. What was under $9? Whether you're talking about the stock or the premium itself, just because it's nominally cheap, that doesn't mean on a relative basis it's cheap, and that's how you need to think about options. No, it's below. That doesn't. How do you know if that it's expensive or not? What does that even mean? It was under $9. If I sell you a cup of coffee for $9, how? Just because the nominal value is $9 doesn't mean it's cheap or expensive. You don't know. Cybertruck. I'm telling you, man. I don't know how long you've been trading options, but you need to start looking at. You're going to get crushed by IV. I'm scared. You're not understanding the point. Let me, I guess, show you a little bit better. So premium can be cheap or expensive. So just because you're looking at a 0 DTE for now and it's $9, you don't know if it's cheap or expensive. That has to be a relative measure to what's been going on. So FFIE, you overpaid. I'm actually scared about what you did, and it's not. I hope it's not financially a lot to you, obviously, and I hope you win. But you overpaid. You should not be buying calls or buying puts on FFIE right now. The premium's too expensive, especially in the short term. You should be selling calls or selling puts depending on your directional bias. For example, we talked to. I guess I get frustrated at myself because obviously the amount of times I've explained this, obviously I'm not explaining it well enough because a lot of people are still not understanding it. Dude, 73 right now. Oh my fucking God. Dude, it doesn't matter. Why do you keep saying the nominal value of shit? What's the IV? Things are expensive, things are cheap. Like, holy shit, dude. All right, I don't know if I can help on this one. You're going to get crushed by IV. You're going to get absolutely murdered. Like, if it goes up, IV is going to get cratered. You're going to lose value. In the money, dude, it doesn't matter if you're in the money. Oh my God. Wasn't it literally just this week I was explaining in the money and out of the money, intrinsic value and extrinsic value? You're going to get crushed by IV and it's going to be a painful lesson. And then you're going to come back and be like, the market's BS. Why did I get in trouble? Why did that not work? I was right. And I'm telling you why. And I hope very much one day this clicks for you. You're about to get crushed by volatility. I'm not even talking about price or price movement, but what are you missing? Volatility. Oh my, I'm talking to a fucking wall right now. I don't know. I guess I don't have it in me again for the 19th time in 2 weeks to explain this. So just watch some of the previous stuff. I feel like I need a couple days off from stopping retail degenerate traders from doing things that pretty much are stacking the entire deck against them. I'll return to it potentially tomorrow. Like, Jesus, dude. I don't, how many times can I explain the same thing? And like, I make video, people are like, well, make a video. I've made many videos about it. I've explained it on stream countless times. I've made countless videos about it. I bring on experts from the world of trading options that explain it even better or in a different way and are more accurate, literal experts. And then I don't know. I hope you don't get crushed. I truly hope you make money. I really, really do. I really, really do. But I'm telling you, unless you start to understand volatility, and Greeks do not trade options. It's if you are trading options and you don't understand the nuances of intrinsic value, extrinsic value, volatility crush, and all the Greeks in a general sense, volatility, if you don't understand that, that would be equivalent to you walking onto the basketball court, not knowing all the rules of basketball and playing against professionals. That's what you're doing. You're entering into an arena of people who are literal experts, and you're wagering money that you are right against them. Like it just the best metaphor.
Order submit. Target filled.
What the fuck? What is this account? 251. 251. Where's 251? 251 on the 37. Well, let's hope that those don't get absolutely murdered. Super delayed. Even the audio is delayed. Cybertruck, I'm begging you, when you have some free time today, go to the old interwebs and search options volatility crush. That is the next thing for you to like feel more comfortable, to increase your odds of success. Not all days are built the same. Not all days. If you're bullish, if your bias is bullish, I have no issue with your bias. You could be bullish, you could be bearish. You're going to be right roughly half the time, depending on whatever your time frame is. I don't care about your directional bias. I'm saying with that directional bias, in this case, it sounds like you are bullish. There's a big difference between knowing if you should buy calls or sell puts. Both are bullish, but you have to know when is it appropriate to execute certain types of trades. All right, we're starting to go a little bit. And I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense to everyone of you can be bullish. I'm just started. Dude, if you're just starting, I'm about to save you thousands of dollars. Trade on a paper account. Do not trade real money. I'm promising you this, and I know it sounds boring, and I know it's probably not what you want to do. I am begging you to trade on a paper account, as in not real money. Simulated trading. It will save you thousands and thousands of dollars to do a lot of quote unquote fake trades, just to learn this type of stuff. There's this old saying of just like market tuition, basically doing a bunch of dumb things that cost you money to learn a painful lesson. There's now many tools out there, such as paper trading accounts, as in not real money, simulated trading. So it's the real market. You're just not putting real money on the line. You can cut your market tuition, as in like just the silly mistakes that cost you money. You can cut them down by quite a bit by just using paper trading. So for anyone in here, I'm telling you, man, you could save money. Been watching for a while. It's just gambling money. I mean, you still don't want to lose. I did that on Webull. It sounds like you need to do it quite a bit more, like a lot more, so you can learn about this stuff. You wouldn't go play against professional basketball players without practicing basketball and knowing the rules of basketball. That's the same with trading options. You don't want to compete against some of the most informed expert traders without knowing what you're doing and feeling comfortable and training up to somewhat close to their level. You wouldn't just do it. You wouldn't go play like against these basketball players, bet money, and just not. There we go. Here we go. You just wouldn't do it. All right. Looks like I'm on a little bit of the comeback. They're all red. Oh, I was on the comeback until what's going on? What kind of freaking volatility is this? Oh, is it the 10? Okay, yeah, pending home sales. Pending home sales just prompted a bit of volatility. That little minute spurt to the upside, vomit, recovery, all because pending home sales. Shout out to Profit. Pending home sales dropped 7.7%. Expected a drop of 1.1. The previous was positive 3.4, and that was revised to 3.6. So pending home sales much lower than they were expecting a drop, a negative 1.1, came in at a drop of negative 7.7. So that was all the 10 a.m. report that at first I thought actually was really going to benefit me. Speaking of options, what is going on right now that we have that info? Options popped and then went flat. Prices pretty much going flat. Time will tell. Time will tell. We have to wait. We're awkwardly range bound in the SPY. We're awkwardly range bound in the Qs. I wouldn't do anything until we see a clear trend. When you see stuff just going sideways, not really doing anything, patience. Patience is key. Obviously, we might be able to get some sort of early indication by seeing the options movement, knowing if the delta is going up or down. Tells us if people are getting calls, getting out of puts, or getting into puts, getting out of calls, or a divergence between the two. So that's why we're going to watch this a little bit. But overall, it's probably going to be a range-bound mess until we either get above, 524.80 on the SPY, maybe 455.25, a little breakout there. Maybe it's breaking to the upside. Let's see. I'm going to watch options. And then obviously I have these positions on. Well, I would love for the NQs to recover so I don't get my face completely ripped out. 250. Oh, what the fuck? So hang on a second. I'm not liking what's happening right now. I guess I just need to wait. And see how this one plays out. I got myself into a little bit of a pickle here. Because these actually want it to go down right here. So are these going to fill? Accounts. I don't know what's doing what right now. I guess we're just going to do the classic let Jesus take the wheel type of a situation today. The classic Jesus take the wheel. Oh, wow. We do have a base at 15. I'm curious if we're just going to come to this, the 454.25 on the Qs and bounce right off. Like, I'm curious if we're going to just come to this low, undershoot it, or I guess overshoot it, depending on how you look at it, lock that in, and then pop. Maybe it pops early. This one didn't even lock in its buffer. Son of a gun. All right, I need to make some decisions. 5-minute bullish, 10-minute bullish, 30-minute bearish, but maybe pushing on ES. The NQs are a little bit more suspect, a little bit more choppy, a little bit more sideways. So the cloud doesn't know what it wants to do on the 5 or the 10. The 30-minute tried to break to the upside, then quickly got smacked. So it kind of feels like we're in no man's land. It really does. The SPY, I still feel very strongly about this upside gap fill. All right. What do I need to do here? Short.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
All right. What is going on? Why am I getting so many alerts? What is this? I don't know what's going on. I think the market's gearing up for this move. I would have preferred a little bit of an undershoot here. What time is it? 10:05. These are still, how are these down? What levels am I in at? Okay, I guess I need some sort of miraculous recovery. All right.
Order submitted.
Submitted? As in a new one? 55. Okay, go, go, go. We were right there. Just push it a little more. Just push it a little bit more. We were right there. Lock it in.
Target filled.
All right, first one locked in. Nice. Keep going. Easy peasies. Easy peasy lemon squeezies. Come on. A little bit more. Little bit more. Come on, dude. Right there. We were right there. Go, go, go. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Let's go. Come on. We were right there. We were right there. How can you get that close and still mess it all up? That's not fair. Hey, that's not fair. I was literally a tick away. I was as close as you could get without actually hitting your value. Just my luck. Just my luck. But I think we're still going to end up being fine. Let me mark out the intraday high. Okay. Let me mark out the high on the Qs as well. Come on, brother. Come on, brother. Dude, this 5 minutes, just no direction. 55. If we hit 55, that would be interesting. Do I want to take a long position at 55? Is that crazy talk? Options are flat. They are not chasing the market up with this. Once again, this is for the S&P 500, but we popped, we went flat, we dropped, we tried to pop. Now it's actually dipping again. Seems like a lot of shenanigans are going on today. Seems like a lot of shenanigans. Out of my own, I guess, morbid curiosity, are other people playing this right now? Do you agree with my thesis of hitting 525.37? Or are you more so fading me and saying, hey, man, we're just going to vomit all day and there's no way we're hitting 525.37? What are your thoughts on that? I already have my position on, so it's not going to, I guess, sway what I'm doing or not doing it. Nick Lee's in it. You're playing it to the upside. So we have some other gap players in here. I see some people commenting on Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin's on the move. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Bitcoin is very much on the move. Yes, bought 50 options. Be careful with that timing, but let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Are we going to recover from this? 17. When you add a stop loss or a take profit, do you have a formula for it? Is it a gut feeling? How do you determine where to the add mark? Many different things going on. And like, cause I don't trade in like just a singular style. So if you're asking specifically for Apex, I guess I don't know what that question's like with respect to. So let me just answer it across the board. On equities, I'm either doing a trend following system. So I'm in as long as the trend is apparent to me. Certain times with options, I'll do that. Other times I have like a specific profit target, or on options, sometimes I want to get out of an option when the equity, when the underlying equity actually hits a certain value. Dude, the SPY just got rocked there. Was there news? No. What is happening today? That was a little bit of a rock. Was there? Did something just cause that? 9 minutes ago. No. Whoa. So the pop we saw at 10:04 was just very quickly given back. So basically, where were we at 10? Now we're just below where we were heading into that pending home sales report. Did something happen with... I'm just trying to understand if this is a real jolt or just kind of a fake out. So we have the dollar that is still looking weak, and we have bonds that are actually still looking decently strong. The dollar is vomiting. I'm actually surprised the market's not going up more right now. The dollar, and then here I could show you yields, US 10Y. We'll do it on the same time frame. Oh wait, now yields? Well, no, yields are dropping. So dollar dropping, yield dropping. How is the SPY and the Qs dropping right now? What in tarnation is going on? So I guess to more directly answer your question, I use many different things. Sometimes I have specific profit targets based on other things. Sometimes it's trend following. This one, if you're talking about today, it's just because there's a gap in the chart to 525.37. That's why it's such a specific level, just because it's a gap fill trade. So many different things. I think having multiple things in your arsenal is advantageous because not every single day in the market's the same. There's always different stuff going on. So maybe there's different things you want to use. I guess just my opinion on it. Jesus. Did something just happen? Out of nowhere, the market's just taking a hit.
Order submitted. Target filled.
Holy shit.
Target filled.
Well, these are getting busted up right now. What's this account? 64.
Target filled.
Well, that one just got hit.
Order filled.
What is going on today? Positions. Long. This one's 55. What a mess of a day. This whipsaw is disastrous. All right, so just hit a new intraday low. Oh, what in the world is going on? What in the world is happening? Let's check in on this. Well, first, let's check in on options. Options just dip. You want to know what's going on? Someone just murked it. Wow. People, big call selling. Like people just dumped their calls starting at 10:10 and simultaneously buying puts. I wonder if this is, I'm going to watch this. The reason there's 4 lines is once again the 0DT versus all of them put together. So the top 2, the orange and the green, are for calls, and the 2 bottom ones, the dark blue and the light blue, are for puts.
Order submitted.
All right, we got that. And I'm still having, I guess,
Target filled.
A delayed experience.
Order canceled. Order filled.
A delayed situation. 255. This one's long. 263. Was able to lock in one. What in the world is this? Let me know if you guys are seeing any news or something, because starting at 10:10, people just started to murk this market. Did it hit the downside gap fill? It did. All right, so we did get a gap fill. The high hit whatever this was, 523.83. So is today going to be a double gap fill type of a day? Hit one gap to the bottom side that was created all the way back in mid-May, and then there's an upside gap fill from yesterday. So we did get a gap fill. We just hit a gap that I was not expecting.
Order submitted.
What is this? What are we doing today? Oh, brother, we are all over the map. We are all over the map. Craziness. Craziness abounds. All right, let's see. The dollar's still so weak, though, which is interesting. I actually am thoroughly surprised that the bonds are recovering and the dollar is still weak, and yet the SPY and the Qs are just straight up vomiting. I wouldn't, if the dollar remains this weak and bonds continue to the upside, I wouldn't be surprised if this is just like whipsaw to the downside and we actually have a pretty strong, like a push back up. So people are getting, look at this, big divergence. People are buying calls and buying puts. So the market cannot make up its mind of what it wants to do. We have call buyers and put buyers. But bonds are going up. The picture's not making the most sense today. That vomit was predictable. Well, if you truly believe that, congrats, because then you're probably a billionaire if you thought it was predictable. But everyone who seems to say that for some reason doesn't have the trading success to back it up. Does not have the trading success to back it up.
Order filled.
51. Dude, I need a big recovery. Does anyone else find that funny? The amount of people that are like, oh, it's so predictable, crushing it. And then when you're like, oh, well, if it's so predictable, like, let's see your gains. Let's see your trading system. Let's see how like good you are at this. And then they're like, oh, well, I don't have that. But it's predictable. If you truly thought that was predictable, you probably would have millions of dollars right now on that dump alone. If you really thought it was predictable, how'd you trade it? Temptus. I'm so curious. If it was predictable, how'd you do it? I mean, this is so predictable. No, it's not. Well, the market did vomit. I'm curious if it's going to come back. I really wouldn't be surprised if it did, because bonds are continuing to push to the upside while the dollar is continuing to be weak. That's generally bullish for the market, but it's not that perfect correlation. It's not like as that happens, there's like perfect measured movements between the two. It's kind of like the general drunken sway, the general trend of it. But let's see how that plays out. All right, at least I have some alerts set up. We don't really need this line. I have alerts set up if we do continue to break down, or really even if we break out. What in the world is going on today? Options have not made up their minds. So people started buying calls, then they bought puts, then they closed the puts out, and now calls are flat. It's just no clear direction. Call or options generally went up until about 9:43. Then we went flat till 10. Then it took a dump. Then it went sideways. Then it dumped again. And now it's kind of trending up, but it's drunk. It doesn't know what it's doing. On the 5-minute chart, you can see where the bodies close from 9:45 to 10:05. If you think the 5-minute chart and the bodies closing makes something that is absurdly predictable, I have a bridge to sell you, brother. That was so predictable. Did you see the 5-minute chart? So predictable. If you think it is, if you think, what did you just say? On the 5-minute chart, you can see where the bodies close from 9:45 to 10:05. Well, now I'm just intrigued. 9:45 to 10:05. No fucking way. You're telling me that you saw this right here from 9:45 to 10:05 and you're like, fuck, man, that's so predictable. I'm trading NQ. Dude, it doesn't matter. If you think, all right, I'll go to NQ just to make you happy. 9:45. (9:45) to 10:05. You saw this, the highlighted region, and you're like, dude, predictable. You're saying you saw this and you're like, that is going to drop. No way. There is no statistical relevance to looking at the highlighted region right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Seeing that and being like, that is about to drop. No way. You might think that, but statistically, you could backtest that exact setup time and time again, and you would realize that that's about 50-50. You're trading NQ? Probably not well if this is how you're trading. Like, dude, I saw it was a little green, a little red, then there was a wick, then there was a wick, then there was another wick, and I just knew it was going to dump. Dude, why do people... So predictable. If it is, dude, congrats. You found that holy grail, and I would... I guess let me put it this way. If it's predictable, how much money did you make on that? Probably minimal. My point is, if it was that predictable, you would probably have like your own printing press. You would have your own money printer, and you'd just be time and time again, just unlimited money, unlimited money, unlimited money. Are we going to bounce back on this? She's just better than you, Matt? Maybe. Might be, but if it was really that easy and they were that much better, they wouldn't be in here. They'd probably be trading their own account, drinking Mai Tais on an island somewhere. All right, let me figure some stuff out, folks.
Order filled.
What am I in at? 247.
Order filled. Order filled.
Wait, fuck, I just did the wrong account.
Order filled. Order filled.
Probably should have used the copier trader on
Order
this.
filled.
All right. We are now in the game of monitoring positions. 247. 247.
Order submitted.
All right. 224.
Order submitted.
263.
Order submitted.
263. 250.
Order submitted.
That was 250, 256. Just trying to dig myself out of this fucking hole that I got myself into.
Order submitted.
Okay. What was the other random ass one that I ended up doing? By accident, 260. 262. All right.
Order submitted.
All right. I got everything where I need it to be. I'm fighting the good fight. I'm arbitrarily betting on a bounce back. I'm hoping that Tempest can tell me that this is the right play. I hope it is. I hope it's predictable. Options were going up there. I was getting lucky for a second. Come on, just pop up. I just want to see a recapture of 455 to get myself out of some of the shit I got into this morning. Come on, brother. Break and retest to the downside? I don't know. I don't think anyone on this planet knows. You could just do various things to try to increase your accuracy by monitoring options, paying attention to generic support and resistance. But there's always going to be some aspect of risk. There's no possible thing that is repeatable over and over and over again. It just simply does not exist. As much as we all want there to be a holy grail that just like prints money, it truly does not exist. And I'm about to get boned. I am about to get boned. What happened? Did options randomly dump? They did. See, you never know. As much as something can be trending, you never know the moment that trend stops. So you could argue that, yes, okay, price kind of trending up, but more so options trending up from 10.12 to about 10.22. Now, you don't know at that exact moment. You're sitting there at 10.22 and you're like, the question is, does it continue? Should you ride the trend or is it going to revert? And you don't know. The point is you never know the next data point. You never know the next candle. You never know what's going to happen in whatever, the next X amount of time, the next minute, the next 5 minutes. It's unknown. No one can predict if the next bar is going to be green or red. If you had that predictive power, you would literally be, you would have all the money in the world. You would be the market. The point is all we can do is take in data that's already impacted the market, as in already the price action, these reports, blah, blah, blah. Like we can take it all in. These Monday morning quarterbacks are so annoying. It's easy to figure out when you have the answer. I love your show. I learn a lot from you. Most of it is Chinese, but I'm slowly learning. It takes time, but you'll get there. You'll get there. Bonds are holding strong in the dollar's weak. I don't know why I'd get out of my bullish position when it's acting like this. Tesla making a pop out of nowhere. Coin too. So, well, Coin has a nice percentage gain, but intraday has a little bit to be desired. But Tesla, old Tesla are looking good. Is anything else moving that we should be looking at? What are the Texas Roadhouse is making a nice recovery. Old Texas Roadhouse. What's that one that Cybertruck was trading? FFIE up 33%, but trading at 59 cents. AMC is down, no surprise there. GME is down, no surprise there. Is the volatility still super, or is premium still very expensive on all these? It's a little bit at the fair zone right now in GME. Not cheap, not expensive. It does get cheap if you look all the way out in October. Term structure, yeah, just not much going on there. What about AMC? Cheaper, expensive. Cheaper, expensive. I don't know what this super pink price means, but I guess it's super pink. Interesting. Uh-oh. That's not good for me. Options dumping, not good for me. I very much need this to turn around. If it keeps dumping like this, it's going to drag the market down with it. I'm currently fighting the trend of options. I think to do a real-time analysis of what's going on, I think I'm a little bit too biased towards this upside gap fill, when I should have been a bit more mindful of, first of all, it's not guaranteed, and also the fact that where we opened, there was about a 50-50 shot of, like, we were kind of, when I say 50-50, what I really mean to say is we were halfway in the region between an upside gap fill and a downside gap fill, And I don't know why. I guess I was a little bit biased towards the upside gap fill because those statistics are stronger. It's strong. If you gap down and then are betting on the upside gap fill, those are better odds than gapping up and betting on the downside gap fill. So I think I maybe put, even though I like the odds, and if you take that trade time and time again with the law of large numbers, yes, a downside gap fill being bullish would work out in your favor. But you have to bet accordingly because that doesn't mean that they're all going to work out in your favor. And I think I maybe drank a little bit too much of the upside gap fill Kool-Aid this morning, apparently. A little bit too much of the upside gap fill Kool-Aid. Matt, is market more likely to sell off tomorrow with data? 50-50. 50-50. Any swing plays? Yeah, I'm in swing plays. That's all the stuff I share with the Discord, though. Can't give away all the secret sauce on the stream, but I think I'm currently in, let me double check. I am currently in 3 swing plays. And 1 play that is kicking my ass. Come on. What are we doing? Bounce. I just want to see a big bounce. Like, I just want some Richie Rich coming in and just buying all of the calls. Buy all the calls, sell all the puts. Let's just rip this delta up. Potentially breaking down. Dude, what am I doing this morning? Fuck. I don't know if I'm going to be on the right side of history on this one. I'm feeling a bit woozy. Oh, man, I really just thought we'd recover a bit more, but options are just not. Options are clearly leading down. Tesla's looking good. No way. NVIDIA's having a red day? Is that even allowed? Is that even legal? Is NVIDIA allowed to go down? Fuck. Is that above board? Come on. How screwed am I going to be today? Dude, I'm not. All of my spidey senses are going off. And my spidey senses are going off because I see options just getting continually murked and murked and murked. Fuck. Fuck. Do I want to reverse everything? Or do I just want to pray for a miracle? I mean, the notional delta is at the lowest. All right. This is... Fuck, dude. NVIDIA is dropping. That's not good for the Qs. We see the delta continually just getting smashed over and over. It doesn't make the most sense to me, though, because I'm seeing bonds are going, or they're holding, and the dollar is actually dropping. So the picture as a whole doesn't really make sense. There is some short-term contradiction going on, but that exists often in the market. All right, how do I want to handle this? What do I want to do? What do I want to do? This. I just keep coming back here, and every time I come back, it's just worse. They're just smashing. What are they actually doing? They're smashing calls and puts. Just jumping all the calls, buying many, many puts. Holy crap. In a weird way, I'm actually surprised that price has held on to this point. Maybe the thing causing price to hold on, at least to now, might just be the weakness in the dollar. Crap. What time is it? 10:30. Yeah, this one's not gonna. I'm gonna lose some of these Apex accounts. If only I held on to those puts. I'm actually still really happy with that play. made money, whatever. On the flip side, it very much could have ripped.
Order can't. Order filled.
Is this going to break? Oh, man.
Order filled.
All right.
Order filled.
What is this one? 55. 55. We will.
Order filled.
What is this one? 224. 224.
Order filled.
All right. All right. Managing that a little bit. The reason I am is, all right, I'm seeing the 5-minute turn red. I'm seeing the 10-minute breakdown. I'm seeing the 30-minute not even hold. I'm seeing the 5-minute breakdown, the 10-minute breakdown, the 30-minute not hold. So I kind of just want to be on the proper side of the trend. Of course,
order filled.
This could be the bottom and it could bounce all the way back up. Like, without a doubt, that's possible. I just find it easier to trade with trend, especially in the face of options vomiting so much. Unless this is the old 1030 reversal. Unless this is the old 1030 reversal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So half are fine and one is currently live.
Order submitted.
All right. This seems to be the inflection point. Seems to be the inflection point. TLT is still... There's so much mismatch going on. This might just be a crap day, because with the bonds this strong, the dollar this weak, yields have to be still falling. Yields are falling, and then yet the SPY's going down. Options have been trending down. They bounce a little bit right here, but dude, across the board, there's a lot. I mean, I have a bias, I suppose, towards that upside gap fill. That's just like a charting thing. But in terms of like just real-time data coming in and the trend of everything from market open until this point, this might be the day just to be like, you know what? We're not playing squat. We're not playing squat today. Because it's just a giant mess right now. It is absolutely just a giant mess. Crypto up, not bearish. Yeah, that's because the dollar's dropping. Of course, crypto's up. The dollar's dropping. That's what crypto does. It's inversely related to the dollar. It has to be. Well, it doesn't have to be. It just logically is. Yeah. I think the major thing right now is wait. Wait. Do we have some call-ins? What is today?
I have no idea how your day is going to go. I don't know what's going to happen today. All I do know is your hair is on fucking point, my guy. You look great. Keep it up.
Oh, that's so kind.
Yo, what's up? Two things. What's with Nvidia? It's going down. Should I sell? I have a nice amount in there. I made a nice amount. I got in before it went up. But should I sell now? Should I keep it through the split? What's your opinion? And number two, Trump 2024 and 2028. Oh, and one more thing. Nancy Pelosi's a crook.
Well, Trump can't be president in 2028. I hope you understand that, because he's already been president and you're not allowed to serve 3 terms. In terms of NVIDIA, I guess I don't know, like, are you playing calls? Are you playing stock? I don't know if you're investing. I don't know if you're actively trading. If I were dealing with this, I would just ride the trend as long as it's intact. And to me, it still seems pretty bullish. But I don't know your risk tolerance or anything like that.
Hey, buddy Matt, this is Aaron, and I hear you watched one of my favorite movies, Bad Boys 2, last night, and I'm thinking I'm gonna start playing that in my theater again. Have everybody come back in. Everybody that comes back in gets a NFT of a bad boy.
Uh-huh.
Are you a bad boy?
You know the difference between roast beef and pea soup?
No.
Anybody can roast beef.
But you can't pea soup? Oh, man. You guys. Dude, this is just getting... Okay. All right, we got some Piper signals going off. You guys and your jokes. Okay. Oops, hang on. I'm missing a letter or a number in there. If you're in the Discord, I just posted Piper. I haven't traded it myself because I'm too frustrated at my other positions. But feel free to use it however you would like. Oh, dude, this is just... Oh, the Qs are coming to this pre-market low. Golly. Well, at least I'm making some of this money back. Buy.
Order submitted.
All right, so no matter what, I'm going to make money on this. Should I move this down? Yeah. All right. No matter what, making some money. Up 600 on this little runner, making some of it back. Making a little bit of it back. Dude, it's just going. It's just vomiting. Look at this. Ooh. All right. Pinned to the top of chat is Kalshi if you want to bet on all this fun stuff that we bet on, but they have a ton. Economics, politics, culture, companies, tech and science, climate, health, world, blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on and on. The ones closing today, being decided today, ETH price at 5 p.m., Bitcoin price at 5 p.m., highest temperature in New York City, highest temperature in Miami, Chicago, and then also gas prices in the U.S. this month, Austin's temperature. Those are all ones closing soon. But in a general sense, there's a ton other. The trending one right now is U.S. bans TikTok, richest person in the world at the end of this year. ChatGPT revealed this year. Ezra, Rotten Tomatoes score. So the way all this works, let me just use today's S&P price as an example, is whatever price, basically it's a question. Where do you think S&P is going to close today? And then here's the answers. Do you think yes or no to above 5,225, 5,250? You could take the yes or you could take the no, depending on which way you think it's going to end up resolving. The price is how much you pay, and how much you can win is the leftover to $1.
Order filled.
If you, what is this? What just happened? Oh, it bounced back up. Okay, so that trade just locked in. So whatever it is, like if you pay 80 cents, so if you think the spot SPX today when market closes is above 5,225, you can pay 80 cents to win 20. Or if you think the answer is no, you could pay 21 cents to win 79. So the number you see is what you're going to pay for the bet. That's your risk. And your potential winnings, if you are right in answering the question, is the leftover to the dollar. And just to clarify, it's not like you have to take all these. If you're like, oh, I just think above or below yesterday, like something like that. That's just an example of like how this betting works, but there's a ton of events. I usually end up coming to some of the market ones. What do I actually have right now? Portfolio. Fed rate cut in July. I said no to that. How many Trump Biden debates? I said no to 0. So like at least one. Deadpool and Wolverine. I think that comes out in July, but I said yes to above 84. And Texas loses border fight with feds. I said no. I bet on Texas. So those are the, I don't know, examples of stuff you can do. And I guess coming to you guys, where are we at on SPX right now? SPX is dying. All right, here's what I'm going to take. I'm going to say no to yesterday's close. I'm going to say no to that. We're going to buy 100 of these. All right. I'm saying, so basically I'm taking the no as in I bet we are below yesterday's close, today's close. So I'm saying today's close, I think, will be below yesterday's close. That's the bet I'm taking. So if you want to bet on any, like not only the market, but obviously I just showed you they have like a ton of things going down. Very, very cool. Once again, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. If you use that link, you're actually going to get, when you deposit $100, you're going to get $20 worth of betting credit. So basically the first $20 of gambling is like on the house. If you want to check that out. Let's see how this actually goes for me today. Damn. What a wild one. What a wild one. I'm trying to think of how I could have avoided some of the absolute shenanigans I got myself caught up on today. Only half my accounts made money. The other half lost money. This is probably one of the worst performing days I've had in a minute. But on a positive note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 are already good for a payout, which is 10K. That's above 2,600. That's above 2,600. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or actually, no, that's a lie. 3 of them are already good. 1, 2, 3. The other 2 are very close. They're within $250. So 3 of them locked in. I should honestly probably stop trading them just so I can ensure I get some of my money. Then the other 2 are a little bit more suspect. But they're close. These ones are too far away. I'm more so getting them ready for the next payment period. The next payment period. You know what might be an interesting trading strategy. Where's 9:30? Huh. 9:30. I'm on the 15-minute, right? Interessante, mi amigo. Interessante. SPX halted? No, it's not. Dumpa-Rooney incoming. I wonder where people come up with these predictions. In fact, I actually think a bounce is coming. Options are picking up. I don't know. Unless options turn, and they might, but people love to just make like wild throw out statements. And folks, you're going to be right 50-50. I mean, whenever the question is like, what's the next bar? Is it red? Is it green? Your odds are basically 50-50. So yeah, feel free. I mean, you could always be perpetually bearish or perpetually bullish, and on whatever time frame you're looking at, you're going to be right about half the time. SPX not moving for me. Sounds like a you thing, because it is 100% not halted. 100% not halted. Are there other bets we should take? CNN, Biden support with young people ages 18 to 24 is down by 25 percentage points.
Take a look here. Age 18 to 24. Biden won this group by 32 points last cycle over Donald Trump. Look at where the polling is now. Joe Biden still leads, but just by 7 points. That is a drop, John. Let's see if I can do this math. I believe it is a drop of 25 percentage points.
Crap.
And compare that to the rest of the electorate, where we're looking at a fairly similar race to where we were 4 years ago, where Joe Biden won those voters by 2 points last time around. Now Donald Trump leads by 2, so that's a movement of 4 points. But 4 points, I don't need to tell you, John, is significantly less than movement of 25 points among those voters under the age of 25.
Worth noting, there are way more voters over 25, but nevertheless, that is a huge swing, the likes of which the Biden campaign
So
has to be a
basically,
little bit nervous about.
Take a look here.
Basically, young people's support for Biden is dropping dramatically. And that's from CNN. Robot is long, strange tape today, in my honest opinion. This is an algo trader I like to follow. So just went long at 18,713. Ooh. 713. Where is that? Right about here. Right around 10. Dude, this is a funky day. This is a weird, strange day. Even Tesla ripped just to vomit. We don't have a nice trending day at all. All right, let's throw up bonds again. Bonds are holding. TLT is looking good, so yields are dropped and they're holding at like a lower relative value. How's the dollar doing? And the dollar. How do we have bonds looking this good, the dollar looking this weak, and yet the SPY and the Qs are looking weak? My hot take is that it's going to be 11 a.m. in 9 minutes. I think that's a solid take. It's definitely a solid one. All right, let's see what you guys sent in. Oh, I saw this and I wanted to play with you. This is, how should I word this? What this politician's about to say is going to make you feel one sort of way, without a doubt, but very interesting statistics.
I want everybody to listen to this stat. 9,000 roughly per illegal immigrant that taxpayers are fronting. That's
Isn't that
more
wild?
than we spend
9,000 per
Medicaid
illegal
beneficiary.
immigrant.
That's more than we spend on the most vulnerable American citizen for their health care. That's more than we spend for our heroes, our veterans, in the way of military
More than our veterans.
retirement benefits.
More than our veterans.
I think for
on illegal
everyone,
immigrants.
this should be unacceptable. I believe it is quite avoidable, but this is the real and significant, and at the state and local levels, especially unsustainable cost of the current border crisis. I want everybody.
How is that possible? How are we spending more per illegal immigrant than we are per veteran? That's insane. $50 million penthouse in New York City. How did they get a video of my place?
Today, I'm taking you inside the most epic penthouse in New York City.
I didn't know I let him into my
Super skinny
place.
Steinway Tower, and it is a full floor unit, starting off with these amazing views at nighttime. Now let's switch to the day. Here is the great room. And obviously on the north end of the building, you have insane views centered on Central Park. Huge dining room with more views.
Wow.
Living space, another little lounge area. And then down this hall, as you can see, this is a
$50
duplex
million.
penthouse with 2 floors.
What do you have to
Beautiful
do
office,
to afford that?
amazing
What is this? Like
kitchen
just
that
our
opens
like
right up to your terrace.
tech
Now, to have a
founders?
terrace up this high with those types of views is just insane to me. But let's head up to the second floor. We have a spiral staircase heading on up, and it just keeps on going. And here is the primary bedroom. Once again,
Dude,
just right on
imagine
top of
waking
Central
up
Park
to
with
that
your own private
every
office,
single
views of
day.
the sunset. This is his bathroom, and then down the hall we have her bathroom. You do have 2 more additional bedrooms just down the hallway. And this is obviously one of the most insane penthouses in New York
That's
City.
ridiculous.
And you can buy this for just under $50 million.
Oh, it's under 50 mil. Here I was thinking it was 50 mil, but it's under it, so affordable. Yeah, we talked about Pelosi. These tips are getting out of hand. Actually, hang on. I wanted to share what that was. With NVIDIA ripping to new heights, you might be pleased to find out that the GOAT of Wall Street, who has no history of Wall Street, Nancy Pelosi, our favorite political insider trader, in one day alone made $532,000. Made $500,000 in a day. She's made millions this month. Her net worth is now $250 million when she hasn't been paid more than $250K per year. How is that possible, folks? I guess anything's possible when you know where the market's going to go. So wild. These tips are getting out of hand. Traffic stops pretty soon.
Here's your ticket.
I can't afford this right now.
And it's just going to go ahead and ask you a couple questions. Thank you. What's up? Why don't you step out of the car, please? Out of the car. Here's your ticket.
No way. Man bets $400,000 on black. 400,000 buckaroos on black. Is he gonna hit or not? Dude, my heart rate's high now just watching this. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Dude, my heart would be... He's betting a house. Red lost it all. Dude, lost a house. Oh, dude. Lost a house? Oh, how do you come back from that one? I thought fortune was supposed to favor the bold. Dude. That's painful. That is painful. Options are now flat. Flat. I painted myself into a corner today. I very much painted myself into a corner today. A corner I should not have painted into. I want to just see options pick up. I want to see it. He's the CEO of Mullen. He looked like Mystery. Well, all right, good thing I handled that. We gonna bounce back? We getting that bounce back today? I feel like I had other things I wanted to share with you. Hang on, let me go through. Oh. This is legitimately one of the scariest things you're ever going to hear from a politician. Their idea on controlling information, this should deeply concern you.
And finally, it takes resilience. As technology evolves, we need to build up societal immunity around information manipulation. because research has shown that pre-bunking is much more successful than debunking.
Pre-bunking, as in stopping the from people from talking, from the info going out. Dude, the EU's going wild. Going wild.
Instead of treating an infection once it has taken hold, that is debunking. It is much better to vaccinate so that the body is inoculated. Pre-bunking.
Very interesting to be using the virus metaphor.
Because disinformation relies on people passing it on to others. It is essential that people know what malign information's influence is and what the techniques are that are behind it.
It's so messed up. The EU's monopoly on truth.
Our chances of being influenced goes down. And that builds up the society resilience that we will need.
That's EU's hot take. Pre-bunking. All right, I think that. What was this one? What's the View have to say?
What message does the president have to give to make people get it that we are in a better place now?
Well, we are in a better place now, and what you're saying is true, and we have to get out that
true,
message.
Doctor?
Every
Jill?
vote counts. This election is important. And so we are going everywhere. We're meeting people where they are. We're meeting them in person. We're meeting them over the TV. We're meeting them in social media. We're not taking anything for granted because Joe has done amazing things for this country. And we have to get the message out.
What message does...
Amazing. Amazing. At least you can speak well, unlike her husband. At least she like carries a cohesive sentence. Folks, how does this make sense? How does bonds pushing, the dollar dying, how are we not popping? Options are flat. This might just be a bust of a day. Or who knows, maybe all the action comes in the afternoon, but options are flat right now. I'm basically just waiting for something to actually happen there. What? I've never seen SPX stop trading like this. Was it a data issue? Like the SIBO? 1041. So it looks like it stopped trading 20 minutes ago. Is it a SIBO data outage? SPX. Right here. Reports of SPX data feeds down on multiple platforms. Lots of people saying SPX is stuck on. So I guess certain data feeds are down with SPX. Sounds like it's a SIBO or whoever runs SPX. Is it the same? Whoever's running it. Looks like there's some data outages. So it's not like halted the way we would think of a circuit breaker halt. It's literally the data feed is out. So it's not a halt because obviously it can't be a halt because the SPY is trading and ES is trading. So it's not a halt. It is very much, I guess, just a data issue, like a data feed issue just completely went out. So not a halt. This is not a circuit breaker halt or anything like that. And we know it isn't because the SPY is still trading and ES is still trading. If it was halted, all three of those wouldn't trade. So it's specifically, I get who runs it. It's like, it looks like it's a data issue. That's crazy. The Qs are still getting murked right now. Wild. What time is it? Oh, it is 11. Well, look at that. I guess for me, I just need to wait for something to happen. I don't really feel like chasing it short right now, but I also don't want to go long right now. So I'm going to have to wait and see what the market gives me is pretty much my plan. Calm, cool, and collected is how I will be playing out the rest of the day. If you haven't already, check out Call Sheet, pinned to the top of chat. If you deposit 100, you will be getting an additional $20 of free bet credit, and you can bet pretty much on anything. The bet I took today was that the S&P 500 will close below yesterday's close. Hopefully that one ends up paying. Right now it is looking pretty decent. So check that out, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. I'm going to go to the Discord, trade with those folks for the rest of the day. I hope you have a good one. I hope you are catching this, I guess, vomit to the downside. I hope you're making a decent amount of money. That's what I have for you. Thanks for all the positive vibes. I'll catch you. Oh, tomorrow we're trading early, starting early, and probably trading early because the PCE report, the personal consumption expenditure, the inflation report comes out an hour before the market opens tomorrow. So everyone should be a little bit prepped up for that one. That's what I have for you right now. Best of luck. Crush the market. I'll catch you early tomorrow. We'll post some content today. And other than that, I appreciate all the good vibes. Peace out.